barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. So, just walked Lincoln to school. Now I get to spend the day with Kennedy. Bob Arum. Bob Arum says he wants Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. Now, it feels good when you got a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You got all that money from ESPN. It just goes to show you when you financially set and successful in your life. Not that Bob Arum was ever afraid to talk, but now that he's financially secure in terms of making fights, has a secure TV deal, it's a long-term deal, so everything is guaranteed. He feels comfortable in doing what he wants. You know, when you're not comfortable, let's use life as an example. When you got $100 in your bank account, been there too many times, right? And you on an empty tank, you only can put $10 in the gas tank because you got to pay for diapers. You got to go grocery shopping. You got to make that $100 last till Friday till you get paid. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that was where Top Rank is at. But now that they have a secure deal with ESPN, they want Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence now. Now, the obvious answer would, who wouldn't want that fight now? The obvious answer, and this is where, because I know or I believe what will happen, it's hard for me to go all in on wanting that fight when actually practicality in my head and how business works is they have to allow Errol Spence to secure the belts on his side, assuming he wins. You know, he has to beat Keith Thurman for the WBA title, and he has to defeat Sean Porter for the WBC title. With all that being said, those fights can happen. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford can happen if they do what if Bob Arum do what Eddie Hearn did, gave Charles Prince Martin, good morning, Queen, $5 million to come across the pond and defend his belt, with Anthony Joshua being the favorite. Now, he definitely can offer Errol Spence a pot of gold. He can offer Sean Porter a pot of gold. He can even offer Terrence Crawford a pot of gold. And if they offer them more money than they can possibly see, I believe those fights can happen. And that's just that's the truest sense, in my personal belief, that's the truest sense as to how that fight can happen. Excuse me, those fights can happen. To secure those fights, it's going to take a lot of money. You understand what I'm saying? But imagine Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence fighting right now. I would lean towards Errol Spence right now because resume. And let's go to the light. Obviously, Errol Spence has fought the one tougher opponent at 147, and Terrence Crawford has yet to fight an elite fighter at 147. I know Errol Spence has only fought one fight at 147, and everything that you're thinking is true. His resume is not as deep as, let's say, at 147 as Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, or even Danny Garcia for that matter at 47. So with that being said, we can eliminate those thoughts because those thoughts that you guys have currently are true. But I just think Errol Spence body work, Errol Spence consistent work will be similar to, like, let's see, what's a recent fight that I seen where the body work and just the consistent pressure paid off? I can't think of one off the top of my head right now, but I think that Errol Spence, when Errol Spence connects, it has more than average power, albeit a jab, albeit a right or left hook to the body. You understand? I think Terrence Crawford is exceptionally gifted. I think Terrence Crawford is a Swiss Army knife in terms of boxing. He can go right-handed, he can go left-handed, he can go to the body, he can bang inside, he can bang outside. Some may say he's the most, well, Swiss Army knife, he can do everything. But in terms of skill set, he might be the most physically gifted guy in terms of what we've seen in the ring. Errol Spence and his team, or I should say Team Spence, has said they haven't had to pull out their full arsenal. He's probably going to need it against Terrence Crawford. You know, that's one hell of a fight. I have that fight 55-45, 60-40, somewhere in there. The betting line is going to be Trump tight, so you may get even money either way. You understand what it might be like, minus 110, plus 120 on the other side. You know what I mean? So I honestly, I would have to break that fight down immensely for that fight to have. The next big bet I'm making is Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. And if Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao happen, that's definitely the fight that I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make a few $1,000s on. So, but that's exciting that Bob Arum has definitely come out and gone public. And some may say it's because they think he's dying. Not dying, but he's old in age. You know, he just doesn't care anymore. No. He's still gonna be a businessman. Every man that's built something wants it to last beyond their living years. So I would go on to say that he just wants to continue his legacy and build his legacy. He believes Terrence Crawford is the most talented guy at 147. He also believes Vasyl Lomachenko is the best fighter at 135 now, 135. So all this may be true. We got to wait and see if it comes to fruition, because as you guys know, I bet Lomachenko blind. You know, so every time Lomachenko's fought the last 5 fights, I've bet him. So, and obviously I've won. So I told you guys that in the video a year ago. I think I did that video last December when he fought out here in LA. He fought somebody, Sosa, somebody like that. I forget who he fought out here in LA. But I bet he's just that damn talented, man. When he moves up to a Tank Davis or a Mikey Garcia, then I'll start using practicality. But outside of those names, I don't care who he fights. I'll bet Vasyl Lomachenko blind at 130, 135, wherever it see fit. So so it was just exciting that we've cleared up, quote unquote, one side of the street. Bob Arum is ready to make these fights. We'll see how Team Spence responds, but they duck nothing. They just talk as calm, cool, and as casual as they may be. So we'll see what happens. I'll do another video on this in a minute, but the WBC is saying they got 2 mandatories for Sean Porter. So we'll see how that plays out. The WBC convention is September 30th through October 7th, if I'm not mistaken. So it's in the Ukraine, so pretty dope. I've never been to the event, but I watch Ellie cover it, so I'll be watching his videos a lot when he covers it, and other people. It was in Florida last year, right? 2 years ago, it was in Florida, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But it's exciting, so we'll sit back and see how it goes. Barbershop conversations. Like y'all, I'm clamoring for that fight. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, I think is one hell of a fight. Honestly, in theory, pragmatically, I mean, just based off of fight schedules, it can't happen anyway until after Errol Spence's next fight anyway. So, because he fights October 13th against Jose Benavidez. So, and then Errol Spence is probably going to fight anywhere between December and February. So you got to take into account that schedule. So that fight realistically couldn't happen until September anyway, at the earliest. As you guys know, I said that fight won't happen till 2020 at the earliest. So I said that shit back in February. So, but let me know what you guys think. I'm glad that you guys have optimism now, you know, in terms of the fight fans, and because now it creates a debate. It creates a more realistic debate as to who's going to fight who, when and where it's going to happen. Well, Terrence Crawford said he's ready. Terrence Crawford got to beat Jose Benavidez convincingly, which I believe he will. I think Terrence Crawford is just that damn good. I'll be honest with you. I think Terrence Crawford is just, I mean, he has superhuman boxing ability based off the opponents that he's competed against. So, but yeah, man, that's exciting times. Anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, and talk to you guys soon. Peace.